Yo, what's good, man? It's Easy Picture Podcast with your one and only host, Glory Boy. Back here with another special guest in the building, Mustafa Abdo.
My brother, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate coming to you and chit chatting a little bit time with you today. Uh, my name is Mustafa Abdo. Came in, as a refugee 17 years ago with my mother and three siblings, and had a privilege to come to America and establish myself here in America. I'm a father. I have three kids. They go to school here, and coming to America was a different dream.
Right.
And as a kid who grew up over a decade in a refugee camp, and when you hear you've been accepted, you and your family, to go to America, always that you will be optimistic. You will say, finally, my dream is
My
coming
dream has
through.
come true.
Yeah, I'm going to America. And always we used to hear, when you go to America, America is the dream to everyone, a land of opportunity. So I'm blessed and I'm happy that I came to this country and become who I am today, and I'm feeling good about it.
Most definitely. And I like how you just jumped straight into it,
Yeah.
like told the people exactly who you are. And
Yes.
I appreciate you for sharing that because a lot of people may see you and not know exactly where you're from. When you say you're from Africa, some people think it's a country.
Yes.
But which country are you from?
I'm
in Africa?
originally from Somalia.
Okay.
Originally from Somalia. As you know, the civil war happened in Somalia back in 1990, 1991. And a lot of Somalis flee the country. You're talking about over 10 to 20 million people who flee the country.
Wow.
Some of them, like me, end up in a neighbor country, then move into a different country until I end up coming to America. But it was kind of sad that you leaving your hometown, your friend, your neighbor, people that you grew up with, family, uncles that I've some of them I've never seen them since 1991 up to right now. So it's kind of was a little challenge, but again, you have to save yourself, leaving everything behind you.
Most definitely. I mean that's one thing that's kind of sad, and that's happening right now too. It's still going on. There's
Yes.
still civil war in Somalia. There's still civil
Absolutely.
war in other parts of the world,
Yeah.
especially in a lot of countries in Africa because of so much corruption.
Yes.
And look at you here and chasing your dreams and making a living for yourself and for your family.
Absolutely.
And before we even start this, because the reason why I do have you here today is basically to speak about your running in becoming one of the school board member for the West Side
District,
community-
yes.
district. And before we even start this, I would like for you guys to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And my first question for you, Mr. Mustafa, is what do you see as the primary role of a school board member?
Well, just want to take you back a little bit on the reason why it's so important first to advocate as a school board. But me coming to America as a refugee, and as I said, I grew up in refugee camp. That I didn't have enough resources. When you are a refugee and you are in different country and you seek refuge in that country, you will end up in some area that you're not gonna have enough resources or tools. Basically, what we have right now in our life, we wake up, we eat, we have a job, we have a transportation. All this wasn't available. But when I came to America and I started establishing myself, going to school, going to ECC to get my associate degree, then going to University of Albany online, got my bachelor. Then I ended up going to UB to do my grad school, and my grad school was specifically in education and technology. And that's and again, education opens a lot of doors for you. And from there, me also being a business entrepreneur in the area where I live, which means the West District in Buffalo right now, that's another door open for me to help and give more hands to a lot of people. Then from there, I find out there's a lot of things needs to be done for school board and representing the community in a proper way, advocating for the community and delivering the message or the concern the parents that they have. So part of that, the role of the school board. Role of the school board is like it's kind of critical a little bit because the school board does do shaping or making the or shaping the direction of the public education within the school district. And based on the experience that I have and the area that I look, I can put in five different area or main area, which mean school board they put the policy, which means they make the policy for the teachers to work on it. Also, budget and financial, they approve the budget and financial. Third, they hire the superintendent, which means more important, that's the COO or the superintendent for the public school entire city. Accountability and also transparency with the parents.
Most definitely. I mean, that's what one thing I always say. And just to jump with what you said, I mean, based on your background, you're also a father of three children.
Yes.
Three children. So that makes you. I mean, you actually see that your kids come from school, and every day they come at home, they tell you different stories.
Yes.
Dad, this is what's going on at school. This is what I did in class. How does that make you feel? And was that the reason why you actually made that decision to run as a school board?
Absolutely, and I am part of me that I always advocate for is parent engagement. You have to know what is your child going through those 8 9 hours your child is gone away from you. When they come back home or when you pick them from school, you have to have that little conversation with your child to know exactly if your child going through some problems in the school or maybe some difficult in one area of the subject that they study in the school. You have to have that kind of communication with your child, and that's why I always say parent advocacy is very important for the community and for the school.
Most definitely. And I want to ask you this: there's a lot of ways to help students, improve in terms of like their academics.
Yes.
Like right now, the last time I spoke with actually is it Anthony Thompson, who's running for mayor in Buffalo, New York. I did actually bring up this stats to him, telling him that it's about 1.2 million kids that do drop out of school
Yes.
in America itself. A lot of kids tend to just, not have that proper guidance to achieve so much and to continue further their education.
Yes.
But how do you plan to improve academic performance across all schools in the district?
So, with that being said, the most important for me is the parent engagement, community engagement, finding a more strategy that help the student and the teachers to make a more enhanced performance of the school, and that fall into some different area, which mean advancement or enhancement student, teachers and leadership effectiveness, also student support, parent engagement, and accountability. Those main area that if we focus and if we put more energy and effort and time in those area, we will achieve better enhancement for the student education.
Most definitely. I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, when you focus on teachers and I mean the people who are the second parents
Yes.
within the school,
Yes.
they actually do perform better in teaching those kids how to, do good in certain subjects. But like I always want to say this, based on your own opinion, I mean, running for school board, a lot of teachers probably may come to you and have questions for you as well. But questions for some teachers will be like, how will you help them, have better pay? Because right now, teachers are not being paid as well.
Yes.
And they're some of the most important people in our lives.
As you know, teachers, they are the first enforcement or first people to respond and to help implementing or help and making those policies to the school board set to make sure those policies are effective and working in the proper way in the school. That's when I am going to make sure that I will make sure that ensure that all these teachers receive a proper funding, a proper salary, a proper compensation, benefit, more development curriculum training for the teachers to help them and to secure for them a better job and better benefit.
Yeah, because man, I have a couple of friends who are teachers, and a lot of them always complain. That's why I asked that.
Yes.
They always complain. They're
Absolutely.
like, man, like, especially because nowadays, because I used to teach like after school, so you get to meet
Yeah.
certain kids that
Yes.
do not have that proper guidance at home. So when they come to school,
Yes.
they give teachers a hard time. So now it becomes an issue for those kids that are actually there to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Now like the teachers are having too much, like teachers go home crying. Some teachers,
Absolutely,
I don't
yes.
know, but some teachers do cry for sure because
Absolutely.
they can't really do nothing. Because we're from a country where a teacher was your parent at home. I mean,
Yes.
at school.
That's cool.
You know, you do something, your parent tells the teacher, like spank them, or punish them, give them a timeout,
Mm-hmm.
or uh, make them not even perform in anything. You know, and teachers used to do that.
Yes.
But here is different story.
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely, and that's what I always encourage of and making more help and support the teachers by providing them with a lot of development program and resources and training and help and advocate for them because again teachers help us as a parent. I'm a parent. My kids go to school for the last 14 years, and Monday to Friday they are at the school, and those teachers I give them a lot of support and advocate for them because they do a lot of important things for us. Yes, as a parents in a home, we might provide a secure house, a safe house, a good environment inside the house. But again, all this teaching and help comes from the teachers.
Yeah, teachers. They're one of the most. I always say teachers are the doctors of life.
Yes,
You know, just they teach you a lot in terms, not
absolutely,
just curriculum, but
absolutely.
you meet some of the teachers that becomes your long life friends. Like you
Yes,
can always call them like, hey, they become your
absolutely.
mentor and all of that.
I still reach out to one of the teachers. He's a professor, was in college in ECC. He's the one who taught me how to speak English, to write. It was, for example, I spent with him 2 years just called ESL, which was writing, reading, and listening.
That's it.
And if he sees our video, Stephanie Lopez, if you're still alive, I give you a big shout out from here because of you, I'm speaking English today.
Shout out to Stephanie Lopez.
Yes.
But I want to also jump to that
Mm.
because you mentioned, you had that one teacher that taught you how to speak English and all the
Yes.
above.
Mm.
But in school, there's a lot of different students that have different needs, and
Yes.
especially within the Buffalo area,
Yes.
Buffalo has been filled up with a lot of immigrants.
Absolutely.
Immigration right now, we're not gonna speak about it because that's not what you're here for.
Absolutely.
But like it has been like a major spoken issue.
Mhm.
But like with immigrants being here and some students that have special needs in school, how are you gonna be willing to help them, especially the ones that want to learn English and or the ones that
Yes.
struggling to to
Yes.
learn?
Again, it's the area that we have to advocate for it. English learnings is very important, especially as I told you, example like me, I came to this country and never spoke English before, and it took me a time and effort to do with the professors who was helping me, and that's one area that I'm always advocate for it because a lot of students who came for the last 5 years, that's a lot of challenge when it comes to language, very 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 challenge, and because of that we have to ensure and advocate for engagement, communication, parents on the board with us, pushing the kids absolutely with different skills area that we can make it easy for them to learn English more.
Most definitely, we do need that. And as you know, I think they say, uh, like a kid from age, I believe 1 to 4. That's their best time to start learning. I mean,
Yes.
that's when they start learning much better, or that's when they start getting some sort of knowledge.
Yes.
Let's talk about preschools, because I'm not sure if you're gonna be working with like preschool students,
Yes.
but like, how will you be able to help, the preschool students? Because I was watching this one video and they were saying that preschools are the hardest schools to get your kids in because they're very competitive.
Yes.
Some schools you go there with a young kid and they tell you, oh, the school is filled up.
Yes.
See if the other district
Other
is
districts
available.
available. Again, it depends on the policies that the school board they sit based on that, and we gotta see also what the school public policies on preschools sign up or size of the student on that school or what stuff they offering in those school. Sometimes you go to different area within Buffalo, you feel you see or you can touch some of the schools. They are doing better a lot than different district. And again, I have to or we have to see those policies how they implemented before and what the things needs to be done. Is a change? Do we need to keep the same one? Do we need to enhance them, modify them, add on them some other stuff that will help the community and those students who's going from preschool all the way to high school?
So now in, I believe somewhere in Texas,
Yes.
there are schools that are actually teaching students using AI. You know, AI have been taken over where students are
Yeah.
actually learning from AI, where they learn like a specific skill and
Yes.
all of that. Like, what is your take on that? Like, is this something that you guys will also focus on and bring into the Buffalo community, or do you think you're just gonna stick to the normal way of teaching?
Personally, I will stick with the normal standard. AI is not going to help teaching or helping you beside making the job easy for you and do the job for you. Then in this case, I've seen the other day video, a professor from college, she put in the TV all the homework or the study work that all the groups they done, but everything was based on AI. And when you use AI, sometimes the grammar is not correct. So you gotta make sure that when you doing the job, it's you doing it in a proper way. Which means you have something same thing with the chat GPT. Sometimes is you have to look back and read exactly is this a proper grammar in this question that you submit to the chat GPT. So I am not familiar a lot with AI, but I don't advocate that AI to be like a solution for the child or for the student to study or to use it, unless it will be a proper way or proper skills or proper training how we're going to implement the AI into the public education.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. I have was it? It was in college. I think one person when ChatGPT came about, I was
Yeah.
so scared of even
Yes.
utilizing that tool because I had one of my class where I learned about artificial intelligence
Yes.
before AI even came to
Before.
picture.
Yes.
So as I'm learning about it, I'm like, wow, is this thing even gonna happen? And then 2 years later, ChatGPT came to life.
Wow.
And when ChatGPT came to life, a lot of students started using it,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of students was getting so much good grades. I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
What's the secret?
Yeah, what are you doing? They say,
Mm.
bro, you gotta utilize it, man. Like the
Yeah.
ChatGPT. I'm like, okay, but the professors found a way to catch
Absolutely.
people.
Yes.
You know, so what happened was one student did write an essay, but the professor kind of put it in like I don't know. They have these tools they use
The,
to review like the
like
essay and
yes,
see if
see
they
if you
really wrote it.
cheating or something like that, or
Boom.
was a copy from somewhere other sources in the internet. Yes.
Exactly. They got them. So
Yes.
I mean, I agree with that because I feel like the normal way of teaching have
Mm.
always been good because it allows students to use their brain to the
Absolutely.
maximum capacity. Because
Yes.
you know, not being able to use your own brain and you allowing a robot to
Mhm.
do it for yourself, what are you really gonna learn? That
Unless the
robot.
student needs, or unless the student has a special needs education
Oh
way,
yeah, like
that's a
yeah,
different
like the
way.
AI can say like the alphabets for them, and yeah,
Yes,
that makes sense. That
absolutely.
makes
But
sense.
otherwise, you should know it. If you came from preschool all the way down to 11th grade or to the high school, and you've been all this days or years moving in good way with the honor, you don't need to use chat gpt.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
definitely,
It makes you
definitely.
lazy. It makes you,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
I understand that most definitely. So
absolutely.
speaking of safety and mental well-being of students,
Mm,
a lot of students come from broken homes,
yes,
you know, and some of them they feel as if coming from their home and going to school maybe their safe space,
yes,
and that's very much important thing to actually think about, you
yes.
know. But like, in what ways or what resources would you have for those type of students that's, you know, coming from those broken homes to come to school for safety, or you know, to feel at least like they're in a safe space?
Again, as I said before, I'm a more advocate and passionate about parent engagement. Child comes to school every day. If this child, you see from this child a face that the home, it's not a safe place for him to go, then this time it needs or it requires a sitting in the table with the parents so we can understand exactly what's happening behind the closing doors. If the child come to school and doing very well in the school, but gives you that hints like, "Oh, I'm not ready to go home, or I don't want to go home. I prefer stays here, do more work or do more writing." Then that time, as a school teacher or principal or district representative, you have to have some kind of sources of, you know what, it's time to engage the families or the parents of this child to see exactly what is happening inside the house. If maybe mom and dad they're busy with work, maybe there's other circumstances that happen inside the house that we need to get a more action and see how we can resolve that in a better way. Also, there's some mental health problems as well. It could be some other mental health problems happening within the family that this child trying to not even pay attention to it, or maybe needs more help. So that's one area that I'm always trying to be more advocate of parent engagement with any area that touch the student or the student needs help.
I like what you said because a lot of times, because I'm always mentioning because where we're from, a lot of times teachers or just any school board members would never run to CPS.
Yes.
You know, we in America where a lot of times when a kid is coming from a broken home,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the first step that some of the teachers do is run to CPS, and we know what that does. It disconnect that kid from
Yes.
the
Divide.
parent
Yes.
instead of allowing that parent to come in so you can speak to them. And if the parent then disagrees
Yes.
with how to treat that kid properly, because if your kid keeps coming in school
Mm-hmm.
and performing really really bad,
Yes.
then at that point you're the problem.
Absolutely.
But like, when do you think is necessary to involve that kind of action?
As experience, I'll give you experience. Couple incident that I have to go to some schools and translate within my language. It was the student is not doing very well, but the parents wasn't aware of the grades was okay that he was receiving at school, but the student wasn't receiving enough help and support. That's when I came in and I started. I took the parents with me, and we spoke to the school, and we find out the area that a student needs help, so he can perform more and do more well in the school. But again, home parents must be involved. That's the one thing that it's all about accountability and transparency. If you don't involve the families with the stuff that is happening with your child in the schools, it's gonna be too late to find out. The same like the incident happened a couple of weeks ago with the what happened in school.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be too late, and then
Yes.
once you find out, now you're all of a sudden shocked
Absolutely.
and start blaming everybody else.
Yes.
But you're not really engaged in speaking to your child when they come back home.
No, absolutely.
I want to talk about budgeting and resources because
Yes.
money, in most cases, now
Yes.
rules the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
A lot of people are gonna come to you guys about what are you gonna do in terms of like budget and resources, And one of the things that I like to talk about is student lunching. Because when I was in high school, the lunch was okay.
Yes.
The breakfast was okay, but it wasn't healthy.
Yes.
It wasn't something that I can eat every single day and feel good, because I'll eat the breakfast
Mm-hmm.
and then 1 hour later I'm actually hungry.
Yes.
Now it's very hard for me to focus in school because I'm not eating properly.
Yes.
But in terms of like budget and resources, how do you plan to ensure responsible budgeting and equitable allocation of resources across all schools?
School.
In the
So my
District of
goal
West?
and my goal is to visit the policy that the public school giving to all the schools, including the district that I'm running for it, to understand exactly how these numbers are allocated to every area that serve the student nutrition. For example, you said breakfast could be okay, but the lunch could not be okay. Or maybe in the breakfast I eat less, but I'm still need more so I can function. Especially again, we go through summer, fall, winter. Every season, your body will react different. Your brain cells by itself will react different. So I will advocate to make sure that every child in the school receive a proper nutrition, even though right now the numbers that I saw, it wasn't exactly advocating or supporting what every child needs. But part of my campaign is to make sure that I can visit those policies and see exactly what area that we can push for more. If the survey shows that there's a lot of area needs to be visit, then I have to visit and sit with the board and sit with the superintendent, see what other things that we can change, and so we can have a proper nutrition for every child goes to public school.
Most definitely. Community engagement, You've already mentioned that a lot of times,
Mm.
just being transparent. And so, like, what would you do to increase transparency and accountability? Because a lot of times when you part of a school board,
Yes.
you're not the only voice. You have
Yes.
other people around you, and whatever you say
Mm.
can be implemented
Yes.
against them. And I'm
Yes.
not sure if they're gonna allow you to do that.
Yes.
But like, in what way would you increase that transparency and accountability?
Again, by involving the community, number one, stakeholder, number two, parents, number three, teachers, number four, and by myself and the rest of the school board representative, so we can ensure that there's a transparency and accountability on the table. For instance, any decision that involve the child benefit, parent should be involved. Parents should be aware of this change that is happening within the district or within the large of the schools within the city. This is the area that we're trying to implement different direction. So your voice, it's matter. Your decision, you have to make that decision with me in a table. Yes, I'm your representative on the school board, but at the same time, I have to I'll make you aware that this is happening, and I wouldn't be the person to be blamed later on the road. Say, hey, you did not notify me that was a critical area that you was advocating for, and you never notified the parents. So that's one of the area that I'm always advocating, which means accountability and transparency is very important, which means engaging the parents and the community at a decision. One of the decisions happening right now, the budget for the next year, it will be more problem than last year. There's some areas going to be cut. There's a lot of people going to be laid off.
Oh yeah, I know it because of the DOJ being,
Yes.
you know,
But those people's going to get off. It's going to be social workers, counselors, that
wow.
we need them. Mental health workers, we need them.
Yeah, it's a lot of things going on,
Yes.
especially how we just spoke about some kids coming from homes where they're dealing with trauma each and every single day. Like,
Yes.
who is gonna be there to actually speak to them and help them out,
Absolutely.
while they're battling those mental health crises.
Absolutely.
But I want to ask you, this is my last question. I know, as going for that race, and when you do win and do your terms, what does success look like at the end of your term?
Success at the end of the term. Well, in every person has a different goals and different values and different achievement that they are looking for or they're running after it. For example, I can pick up example of me and you. Basically building whatever we have today and the goal that we're going after it. Or for example, a student who goes to school trying to get a high grade by completing all the coursework, or a businessman such like you right now today. This is your business, and your goal is to have more audience, more voices that are you trying to show through your show, or a businessman that who have more revenue, exceed the revenue target that he's looking for, and have more share marketing. So that's kind of things what I see as a successful end term.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you so much, brother. I
No
appreciate you
problem.
for
Thank
coming
you.
through.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate for your
And
time.
man, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. I mean, the reason why I have you here and I'll have more other people coming is
Yeah.
just because to see who are actually going to be representing us as a community.
Absolutely.
I have little
absolutely.
siblings that are in schools. I have
Absolutely.
little cousins that go to like public schools and so on. And sometimes I ask myself, like, are those schools, like, do those schools really care for their future?
Yes.
Because of the way the world is actually revolving.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, appreciate you guys.
Not a
Go
problem.
ahead and
Thank
hit the
you.
subscribe button. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And go ahead and actually follow
Mustafa Abdo for West District School Board. I'm in Facebook. I am in Instagram. Both page has the same name, Mustafa Abdo for West District School Board. Follow me, share your concern, share your idea, your thoughts, anything that you might think that you need my voice to be for it in that school board. Please follow me. If you see me in the street and anywhere, approach me, talk to me, and thank you.
Thank you so much.